going on. Yeah.
We're live. Yay.
We're on time.
I'm so excited. We're on time. I'm about to go to your channel so I can kind of have visibility on what's going on over there.
Yeah. And I can see the comments.
Yes. For some reason, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough.
We're mad today. Like he said, that dynamic is not the dynamic he signed up for. Like,
Tobe, you can come up here as well.
He's so mad right now.
Yeah, he's really upset. I don't know what to tell him though.
Like he's like, but you got me to replace him. We're just waiting for people to come on because we've only been on for like a minute. We're on time today, and I bet you most of them are like, "Oh snap, they're on time."
I know,
right?
That's where
nobody's lagging or anything. We're doing good so far.
From what I can tell, like the quality of the videos, all of our videos look good. This is starting great for the book club.
We're stepping it up. We're stepping up our game. We're here.
No time today.
Now, I can't guarantee it's gonna last like that the whole live, but right now
I can't. We're starting off strong at least.
Right, we're on time. So I feel like I'm gonna wait a second, and then we've got 6 people watching. If you're watching, say hello.
Yeah, please say hi. I'm just asking it on my other Instagram.
Oh. See, look, one day, one of our chats is literally going to be dedicated to like, how do we deal with all of these different social medias?
It's a lot.
It's so much.
It's really a lot.
I'm going to take a break one day.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Hi, y'all. Welcome to the first live of the quarter of the year. Well, not of the year, but of the quarter.
Yeah. It's the Melanin Eclectic quarter. That's what we're calling it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like getting the views up for 3 months. Yay!
Oh, is this the first live of the year?
Okay, so when we get 10 watching, then I'm gonna start.
I can't remember.
Are we already at 10?
We're at 11 now. Okay, well, shoot. Hi, guys. Welcome to the first live of 2020.
It is. Yay!
This is the first live that we're doing the new format that we talked about in our last live. So for those who don't know, our lives are broken up into quarters. So for the first quarter is my pick of the month or my book of the month, but we're not actually going to discuss that book until March.
Right.
And then January's topics are just Booktube news and all the Booktube drama that we noticed on Twitter.
Right.
And then February we'll have special guests and a specific topic. But we'll talk about that.
So that's how we're breaking things up this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, where is it? So before we jump into
never live if you're not in the comments.
Yes.
Hope your day's going well.
So this is the book of the month, which is fantastic.
I'm glad you had it. I was like, do I have to go get it?
I have to go get it. We have to talk about the cover. Is anybody else that's got the book? Is your what is the name of this thing called?
Dust jacket, girl.
Is your dust jacket shorter than the book? Because my dust jacket is shorter than the book, and it's on. Like, I looked through every one of the ones in Barnes and Nobles, and they were short. I'm very tempted to take it back because it's driving me nuts that it's not protecting this white book.
Yeah, I haven't really noticed that. Mine covers the book. I'm pretty sure. I got mine from Amazon.
See, I was trying to avoid the whole Amazon thing.
I know.
Because I checked every book they had, and all of them were short. So
maybe mine is too, and I just didn't notice it. Like I just didn't look closely enough.
Well, if I brought it to your attention, I'm sorry. Because
I know now
it's like now I'm sorry because
now I'm like tempted to go get it just so I can see.
It's driving me nuts. And it's such a small sliver, but it's enough to make me mad because it's a white book.
Yeah, seriously.
Antoinette said hers is short.
Okay, maybe it was just the
Maybe
thing.
it's
Maybe
just the book.
maybe it was like an aesthetic choice that they made.
Well, it was a bad choice. Why make a sleeve and not cover the whole book? A white book.
It doesn't make any sense.
But I'm sorry to anybody who didn't notice, and I brought that to your attention. I'm so sorry.
Like me. Wonderful.
Well, since it's the first video of the Fun 20s, are we going to introduce ourselves, or we get to jump right into the drama? Because y'all know I've been waiting for this live.
I guess we can introduce ourselves just in case there's anyone new watching who hasn't been here before.
Okay, well, hi guys, I'm Brittany, aka Melanin Eclectic. I love fantasy and all things fantasy. I dip into sci-fi, historical fiction. Romance is my least favorite genre, but I don't judge people who read it.
Every time you say that, you have people coming for you, and I don't know why you could.
Right.
I also warn people if they come for me this year, I'm not going to be nice. So that's their problem, not mine. So let me think. Do I need to introduce any more? No. That's all I'm introducing.
No, talk about all the other stuff you do. Come on now.
So much stuff though. Okay, so I am a petroleum engineer by day. I have a online stationery shop. Obviously this channel, the book club. I run a business. I hardly ever sleep. I love video games. I love cosplaying. I'm 120% nerd. And I love hair and makeup as well.
There you go. That's definitely more of a well-rounded introduction.
Okay. Next.
Troy.
Me? Okay. I'm Troy Nicole. My channel is TheBookishwallfleur.
And
dang! I didn't even get a chance to say anything.
Ever. She's not gonna let you slide through that.
And my favorite genres are romance and fantasy, and I also really love to read mangas on the occasion. And I'm a college student. There we go.
She also has another YouTube channel.
Yes, I was trying to get her to say it, but she really didn't.
It, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
It's new. Definitely go check it out. It's great. It's like a journaling.
It's really
collage.
It's
a journaling channel, but it has a lot of art and it's very peaceful. It's very aesthetically pleasing and like nice to watch. So go check it out. InkFleur, right?
Yep.
Look at
you.
We have to do it because we won't do it.
Oh, Troy, you need more views on that channel. Please go subscribe. We will put a link. Brittany will put a link to her new channel in this live.
It's really pretty. Like I enjoy watching it because it's pretty. So.
I do too. It's nice.
Yeah. So
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
I cannot. Okay, moving on. My name is OhSheReads, and my channel is OhSheReads here on YouTube. And I work in the med spa industry, so beauty and pharmaceutical sales by day, and writer by other day, sometimes at night, whenever I can find the time. I love reading everything. Right now, I'm really fixated on on romance, but I love fantasy. I love sci-fi. I love nonfiction. I love historical. I love the classics. I love children's lit. I pretty much love everything. The only thing I don't really ever read is like horror or like crime, true crime. Those are probably the two genres I read the absolute almost nothing of. And I am intrigued by like manga. I used to read mangas when I was in high school. I got really into them for a very short period of time because they were all at the library. And now I'm like interested in getting back into them. So if anyone has any great recommendations, I know they do.
Yeah. Like, you want to read mangas? Yay! Okay.
Yeah, I used to really enjoy them a really long time ago, and I'm kind of wondering why I stopped because I like. Is it along the same sort of feel as this is gonna sound horrible, but like K-dramas? That's kind of what they remind me of. Is that terrible?
think it's terrible because I enjoy K-dramas too. So it's
always like, no.
Yeah, they're really good. They're just different countries.
I mean, I know it's whatever, but it's actually really they're very entertaining. They're basically like I laugh at telenovelas the same way that I laugh at K-dramas. Like they actually want to watch them. So
just like entertaining and not cliche. Like I like that mangas don't have these cliche storylines. Like you can't always predict what's going to happen. They're not as formulaic, I would say, as like a lot of American styled westernized storytelling.
Yeah, they're also not afraid to like touch certain topics. Like sometimes like, oh, that went left. It's like blood, gore.
Right.
I mean, there's love in there, but I don't care about that. They usually die anyway.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I am so sorry. I'm not a cynic. It's just y'all know that I just, I personally feel like we need to bring back platonic love in stories. Like everybody does not need to have a romantic love interest. Like you can have like your best buddies.
I definitely think that I feel that writers feel like they have to put some type of romantic storyline in the plot to make it more marketable. I get that feeling a lot. And I think that's why a lot of those storylines feel very forced and just not very like organic. They don't feel very like well thought out, because I feel like they were just jammed in there because they thought, oh, this is going to appeal to wider audiences and bring in different types of people if I include this story plot in here. And it's like it wasn't necessary, it wasn't needed.
Right. We Love Books asks, what are you guys personally reading right now? Shoot.
Well,
I have been failing.
In the middle of a new adult romance called Broken Night by L.J. Shen, and it's the latest.
Oh, that was really fun.
She had like a series, and this is kind of like a spin-off of the series with like the people in the other series. It's like their offspring, so it's very interesting. And I've already read like 4 books this year, I think, or 5.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Dang, I'm still on number 1.
Me too.
I don't know. I was just like in a reading binge like the very first week of the year. I think it's just because I had a lot of time off because of the holidays, and I didn't have anything else to do, so I was just reading. Like when I go to my Goodreads, it says that I've already read like 4 books, and I'm just like, damn, okay, I didn't realize.
Oh shoot. Yeah. I'm currently
it won't last forever.
I think I'm reading Crushing It by Gary Vee. It's a business book. That's my nonfiction book of the year. When I do have time or want to read, I'm also reading Daughters of Nari. And then I was listening to We Hunt the Flame on audiobook because Amber is obsessed with that book, and I just want to know why she's obsessed. Have I finished?
I really love that book.
Yeah. Have I finished any of those books? No. No. So my count is still 0.
I am reading for school select documents illustrating the 4 voyages of Columbus. And I'm also reading, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say the name of this book because let me go look. It's called Hating to Love You by Erin Kiley. And I read it because it was based in Houston. No other reason. But I haven't finished any of it.
Okay. Well, so wait, the second book is also for class too?
No.
Okay.
That definitely doesn't sound like a book for class.
The first book was like, I'm reading a book about a colonizer, but then the second book actually sounded like you wanted to read.
Yes.
I just haven't finished anything so far.
I might finish all 3 before the end of the month, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself. My birthday is next week. I'm just letting y'all know. I don't think I'll be reading that. So,
do you have any plans?
Food.
Yeah.
That's about
it.
I was thinking about going to this virtual reality place here in Houston and shoot some zombies, but I haven't decided if it's worth the money because it's like $44 for 30 minutes or something like that.
Where is it?
It's in over there on the Katy side of the world, which is also.
Oh God, that's far. Never mind.
Yeah, so I'm waiting.
That's very expensive for a short amount of time.
Yeah, So I'm thinking I might just go hang out with my nerd group and we just chill and talk and all that jazz. So
Yeah.
So I guess my first thing is, does anybody have any Booktube news that they saw that they would like us to talk about before I deep dive into my favorite topic of this evening? I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm being nice, right? Like, I feel like I've been nice, and I feel like we gave this warning less than a month ago, and people already tripping. So why do I have to pull that thought back? Going once, going twice. No? Okay, great. So don't even know her name because her name is irrelevant. She decided to go on Twitter and talk about how she feels like diversity or books with POC characters and diversity was only good because it's a marketing ploy and that the books themselves are not actually good. So my thing to say to that is A, she can kick rocks. B, she can wipe those white tears off the floor because nobody cares about her feelings. And 3, I'm so tired of people like her and Stephen King always coming for diversity because they are so ridiculously privileged that they don't see how stupid they sound. Y'all all right?
I'm sweating.
All right, so yeah, I went on a Twitter rant because I was so like, I'm just annoyed. I'm so annoyed that every single time it's people of color just doing normal everyday things or even fantasy related things, it's always, oh, it's only well known because it's starring a Black person. Meanwhile, the hate you give and all that other stuff is like, oh my God, this is a literary masterpiece. Black people getting shot every day. Oh my God, her daddy is actually there. This is such a great book. You guys should all read it. It's such a great read.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm so done. And I bet, like, I could not, when I tell you, I went to go try to find this tweet. Girl, it's ghost. Like, I cannot find it. Cannot find her. Cannot find it. She done dipped. Like, she dropped her privilege.
She deleted her entire Twitter because she was getting so much heat.
I would, because it was just like, wow. Also, I forgot to find the Stephen King tweet when he was tweeting about how he doesn't feel like
he backpedaled.
Yeah, he backpedaled heavy because his first tweet was him saying that he looks for quality, not diversity, or some foolishness like that. And it was just like, so
he got dragged though. Respectfully, people were very respectful, but they were like, respectfully, Mr. King.
I was like, that much accolade to where people were like, I think you're wrong, but then they're like, Mr. King, I think you should consider this. I was like, y'all are so nice, because I looked at it and just scrolled. Because
he was dragged. He was dragged in a very nice way, but people were kind of like, have you forgotten your privilege and where you stand? You can't really speak on this. Like, and if you are going to speak on it, you need to at least acknowledge the fact that you come from a privileged position and you can't really say things like this and think it's okay. And then he backpedaled a whole lot and was like, actually, joking, LOL, jokes. I believe in diversity. I just don't feel that it should be the focus over the talent, but obviously, you know, in a world where a lot of minorities aren't even included in these spaces and aren't up for consideration at all, then, like he said, like a lot of mumbo jumbo, but basically he backpedaled and he was trying to apologize in a roundabout way. But
the funniest part is when he tried to clarify and tried to like fix his statement, the funniest thing is he brought up the main point that like, POCs are not put in these stories. Like, it's like he acknowledged the problem. And it was like, sir, we wouldn't have to advertise it as a POC book if POCs in stories were
the norm.
The norm.
It's kind of like, I get what he was saying. He's coming from that whole I don't see color place.
Which when people say that, I say go to the doctor and get checked, because that's a medical condition.
it's very much a place of like, oh, you know, we shouldn't have to think about that. It should be about the talent. And I'm like, okay, in a perfect world, if everybody was represented in a way that they were seen and all of their if all of society was equally represented in things and was giving the props and the attention and the spotlight and accolades, because that it was in his tweet was in regards to the Oscars for those that didn't see it, the Oscar noms for those that didn't see the tweet. And the point is that the Oscars disregarded a lot of people of color films that had come out, scripts that had been written and directed by people of color. They completely just bypassed and disregarded them. It was kind of weird. And so I get what he was trying to say, but I don't agree with what he was saying. I don't think he realized what he was saying, and I think that's the problem. It's like when you have so much privilege and you're so blind that you don't even realize what you're saying.
It's you got to be if you're a writer, your words matter. So you got to write better, basically. Like,
I also just call BS on the whole thing though, because it's just like, okay, yeah, I may buy a book because an author is Black, but if I hate the book, I'm going to say I hate the book.
Yes.
The rating's going to be bad. It doesn't matter how much, like, there are so many books by Black authors that I just don't like. Like, I just sit there and, like, what was the second book we read last year? Was it She Would Be King, or was it My Sister's Serial Killer?
She Would Be King.
Both of them, me and Brittany didn't even like.
I didn't like that book either.
Yeah, She Would Be King put us all in a reading slump.
Like, I felt like the author was trying too hard to be deep with that book, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it flowed very well. It was very disjointed and confusing. It's like she was trying too hard to be smart or something. I don't know. But I didn't like that book at all. But I do feel that I don't know about y'all, but I do feel that there is this weird pressure, though, on Booktube amongst our specific community to, like, not necessarily like every popular book by a person of color, but it's like if you don't like it, you can't speak about it because it's being shoved down everyone else's throats. Kind of like the whole "they hate you give" situation. Like, if one of us was to sit down and make a video, how about we don't particularly care for the book, we didn't enjoy it, it would be like this huge scandal.
And that's what's crazy. Like, I grew up in Third Ward, Texas. Do you know how many people that I've known and I've gone to school with who've gotten into gangs or been shot? I don't need to read that every day of my life. Like, I don't want to read it. And just because I don't want to read it does not mean that I don't have any respect to what happens to Black men out there, especially with police brutality. And it doesn't mean that I am any less Black than some other Black person on Booktube who decides that they like the book. That's fine. You can like the book. I just don't particularly want to read trauma all the time. That's not why.
And I think that's the problem, is that we are so underrepresented and our books being celebrated is so rare that we sometimes feel forced to just accept whatever we get. So it's like, if all we get are trauma type books, then we feel the pressure to just accept it and be okay with it, which is why it makes it even more angering when we finally start to get books about Black people and other people of color going on adventures, living in fantasy worlds, doing, going to space, being on other planets, doing all these amazing things, or even just living a normal life, like a simple, just like romantic comedy or simple. People act so like, oh, this is my favorite. I couldn't really relate to it, but you could relate to the hate you give. Like
what part were you relating to? The fact that you the drug dealer? Is that what you thought you could relate to?
I couldn't really connect to the female protagonist. She just, she just wasn't like me. I just didn't have a lot in common with her. I'm like,
oh, so like, remember when what is Elizabeth Acevedo's second book, the cookbook one?
Fire on High.
Fire on High.
Fire on High. You remember how Booktube responded to that? They were like,
yes.
I mean, it was cute, but like, I mean, I didn't really get anything out of it. And I was like, dang.
Right.
So a girl going to school trying to figure out what she's going to do with her life. That's not relatable.
It wasn't enough for them, meaning the trauma aspect wasn't there. And so it's like, when Black bodies aren't going through trauma, why is that not enjoyable for you? Why is that not good enough? Why is that not interesting? Why is that not relatable? That is really, really, really annoying. And it's like, we're finally in a place where we're getting authors that are branching out. We're getting the type of books that we've always wanted our whole lives. And that's why it's so angering when we see tweets like that, because it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious?
That junk set me up, because I was like, do you know how long I've been waiting for a book for a Black girl to be in cosplay. Do you know how long I've been waiting for a Black gamer or a Black girl who decided that she was just going to like go sit in a corner and read a book because she didn't feel like interacting with people? Like, do you know how long I've waited for just Black people to be in a book, just doing the same thing? Because I've been reading fantasy this whole time. There's not been Black people in these fantasies unless they're there as a character or to die.
They're always there as a plot device, either to die a tragic death because they were a close friend of the hero and that motivates the hero to overcome, to whatever. They're always some type of plot device, right? There's always, it's like a tool. The author uses them as a tool to motivate the actual hero of the story into getting to wherever they want them to get emotionally or in the hero's journey. And so it's like when we actually get to be the heroes, it's such a shock to people that it's just unpalatable, and it becomes something that they get to complain about. And all of a sudden it goes from a 5-star book like The Hate You Give to, oh, it was 3 stars. It was okay. I was okay with it. Well, you need to examine what made you so uncomfortable about someone who doesn't look like you doing things that you would find amazing that someone who looked like you was doing. And that's what we've been doing our whole lives, okay? We've been reading books about people that don't look like us, and we've been enjoying them. And we've been loving them, okay? And we've been in fandoms, and we have so you need to...
We have fandoms for books that we don't even fit into. Like entire stories that I'm obsessed with that have not one Black person in the story. And I never sat and read it and go, oh, these are white people. I can't relate. It's literally been, dang, I would love to have these powers. Can I have them? Like,
yes.
Just
really what boils my blood. I'm just like, I cannot.
Whenever I see things like that, I always just want to like bring that person on this book club and just let them I want to ask you 3 questions. 1, name a book where the main POC was not experiencing Black trauma that you felt the story was trash. Give me 3 examples.
Yes, 3 examples.
Yeah. 2, why do you feel that diversity is just for marketing when our entire world is diverse?
Mm-hmm.
And 3, why did you punk out and delete the comment? Because
what we all want to know.
I don't delete anything. I refuse. I believe people are in a state where they are. And if I tweeted something 3 years ago and somebody want to bring it back, I'd be like, so I don't even know where I was then. Like, I'm a different person now. You would assume or hope that people grow. So you can't backpedal. You said what you said. So standing in the truth.
Yes.
Like she says nothing now. It's like, but you were bold then. You thought you were saying something prolific. And instead, you were just saying something racist. And I know somebody's going to say, oh, she wasn't being racist.
That's what she was being. I mean, I still think I'm still amazed at the fact that we live in a world that being called a racist is actually worse than being racist itself.
Oh my gosh. It's like, wait a minute. So I called you racist, I'm a bully now?
Make it make sense.
I said in the beginning that all the white tears that can come from this, y'all can have them. I don't care. Like, if you're more offended that I'm calling out the racism than the actual racist comment, check yourself. You might be racist. Like, that's all this is. And it's like nothing, because I try not to go on Twitter rants because I caught myself and I was like, whoo, I was going in. So I thought about it and I was like, dang. I was like, so I read this book, right? And it was about a girl who possessed this power, and she was magic, and she was a queen. And I thought, man, that would be dope to have like elemental powers. And then I thought, not one of these women in the story are Black women. And I'm still very much obsessed with the 3 Crowns series.
Yes.
Like I talk about that book I talk about this series all the time. All the time. I've been talking about it for like 3 years. Not once did I say that book was not good because of the color of their skin. I did say the book had some massive plot holes that I would love for her to write a novella to fill, but I've never attacked a book because of its gender.
And I
or
feel like
color.
And I feel like that's a privilege in itself when you can read a book and simply not like it because the people in the book didn't look like you and you couldn't relate to them because of that. That is a position of privilege. That means that you are used to reading books where you are comfortable enough to give it a fair review because the book world, everyone looks like you and it's somehow more palatable to you because they look like you, that they're doing all these magical, fantastical things or whatever's happening in the book. That is a place of privilege in itself. That means that your whole life, like you reading a book where you cannot relate to the people because of their skin tone, that is an anomaly. That means that does not happen often. That in itself is a privilege. And I just want people to recognize that and realize that. And I would actually respect people more if they would just say, you know what? I don't feel like I can review this book accurately. I feel like I need to read more books with people of color as main characters and really familiarize myself with this uncomfortable feeling I have and become less uncomfortable. I'll get back with y'all on how I feel about this book. Then just gut reaction. I just couldn't relate to it, and not dig in and examine that feeling. I'm not saying that people are like, I'm not attacking people and being like, oh, you know, I don't know. I want to leave a little grace because it does make me very uncomfortable when I watch book reviews and it is about a book that is not centered around trauma, around a marginalized community. And I've read that book and it was well written. Everyone has the books that they like, they don't like for various reasons. But the reasons they didn't like the book are things like, I couldn't relate to the main character. I just felt, you know, it was okay. It was it was okay. And they're not articulating. And we all know what it means. We all know what they're trying to say. That is what bothers me.
Do you know how many books we wouldn't be able to read if we just tossed every book that we couldn't relate to? Do you know how many books a day I read? I'm reading about fucking Christopher Columbus. What do I have to do about him? I have nothing in common with Christopher Columbus, but I have to read the damn book. Like, I don't understand. Like, it makes zero sense.
It'd be different if they said, I can't relate to this book because.
Yes.
Dig in. Like, never go past the I can't relate because they know what they really want to say. And they're like, oh, I mean.
And they can't say that.
Book. It was cute. Because I've done it plenty of times where I've read a book and I was completely annoyed and I couldn't fully articulate why I was annoyed. But I try not to use the phrase, I can't relate. Because technically, most of the books I read are about some kind of magical realism. So what can I really relate to? It's a fake story.
Yeah.
It's like, there are other ways to gravitate towards a character in a story that's not the color of their skin.
Harley asked a good question. The cerebral hedonist asked, how do you feel about white people writing magical realism?
I mean, I don't think magic has a color.
I can't think of an example. It doesn't, like, that's the thing though. I don't care. Like, I don't even care if a white author writes a book with a person of color as their main protagonist. I don't care about that as long as it's not, you know how sometimes you read a book and you can tell they did no research whatsoever. Like, don't write a book as a white author. Don't write a book about a kid from Compton if you're just going to throw a bunch of stereotypes in there. Don't write a book about a character being a native and you did no research whatsoever. Like, that bothers me. Like, if it's something that's outside of you and far away from your culture and your community, do the research needed and necessary to actually accurately represent that group, or even go talk to some people in that community, talk to some people of that race and familiarize yourself. And then I don't mind that as long as there's research behind it. But let's see.
There's a lot of comments that just shot through.
I know.
Oh, that's a good point. She says, I'm more uncomfy with the gushing about the fact that it's diverse and it was good because it was diverse versus this book has a great story and it's diverse.
I agree.
Ted also brings up a good point that we never discuss when we talk about marginalized communities, and that's being able versus being disabled.
Yes, that's what I was commenting on Ted's right there. Because I'm like, that's another example. Like, he reads all these books. He's been suggesting books to me to read, and I don't call anybody in a wheelchair in the stories that he's been suggesting. He reads just fine.
Exactly.
So it's just like, I don't know. I feel like we have to stop. I'm not saying read a book because it's diverse. I'm saying give that book the same chance you gave when it was a white woman on the cover than when it's a black woman on the cover. Like, have the same energy. Who can? Like, I can't tell you that this last 2019 was the first time that I got to read multiple fantasy books where the main characters were POC, and not even just black, but just POCs. Like, this was the first year that most of my top reads were POC main characters.
It was kind of groundbreaking in the publishing and world.
Yeah.
You know, and it's getting better too. Like, more and more books are coming out now. It's really exciting.
Right. But for them to just kind of crap all over it and just call it a marketing ploy, it's just like.
And look, in my defense, it don't work for me because I'll see a book and there could be a POC at the front cover. You know, they have a lot of the cartoons type front covers now. I'll pick it up, read the back. I'll even open it and see this is a black woman. I'm like, this sounds so boring, and I'll put it back. And that'll be it. Because I'm just like, I don't want to read this.
Yes.
That I saw at Barnes & Nobles today. Beautiful black woman on the cover. However, it's a contemporary story about a girl who's got top grades, doing everything great, and she meets a bad boy. And I was like, nope. Passing that narrative back to you.
Yeah, that's not interesting at all.
That story has been told over and over again with white women as the main character, and I won't read those either. Why?
But
because
you know what?
Stupid ideal that we can only get losers for love.
But you know what, though? It feels good that that book exists.
Yes.
But that's an option for somebody, you know, that it feels good that, like, and honestly, that's what I mean by diversity is the sense that, like, it's more equal representation than diversity. It's like level the playing field a little bit. Like, I would even love to see more books with disabled main characters, you know, and main characters fighting with real issues and mental health and things like that, because it's leveling the playing field. It's like, I want the books that we have on the shelf and are being recommended and pushed to us to represent the world that we actually live in. And I think it becomes disturbing and troubling when people of the dominant society are uncomfortable by that. That, to me, is troubling. It's like, why are you so uncomfortable about publishing and books becoming more like the world that we actually exist in? And people being represented. It's weird. It's like a little kid who the attention is being taken off of you for 5 seconds and is on somebody else. Now you're throwing a tantrum. Like, that to me is the problem. I get the whole argument of diversity for diversity's sake, but at the same time, why is that wrong? Like, the whole art movement had art for art's sake. We had to learn about that shit in high school. They were just making art to be making it, and it didn't mean anything, and it wasn't deep, and they were just doing it to do it. So why can't we just have people of color in books just to have people of color in books? Like, I'm just like.
So, okay, so I posed this to a friend. So obviously a lot of my friends do not read books the way that you guys are my book people. So everybody else doesn't understand, like, why I get so hype about certain books. But sometimes I don't know, like, which was it? Dang, what book last year I didn't realize was POC? I don't even remember. All I know is I was reading the story, and then one of the side characters made a remark about their skin tone, and I was like, they're black? I was like, oh my God, this is great. I can't remember the name of the book.
Wait, are you talking about Opposite of Always, the girl protagonist?
There we go.
Yeah. And we were like, wait, hold on.
But
the girl that he was in love with.
That's her name was back, and her name was Kate.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Like, we were still reading it. I thought the story was cute. And I got, look, real facts, I got even more excited when it was a black girl named Kate, because normally her name is Lakeisha or something like that. So,
right.
Like, my name is Brittany. My name is, when they call my name, they literally look for someone else and get shocked when I raise my hand. So it was one of those refreshing, like, oh my gosh, that was such a normal person.
Yes.
That I was shocked. And it was like, dang, I'm shocked. This is my real life, but I'm shocked to see it in a book.
Yes.
Like, also, we kind of jump topics. So there's 2 topics. A,
There's two things going on.
So we're still going to stay on the disability one because Ted just bought up a book because I heard about this book.
I've heard about it too. I'm intrigued. I'm more intrigued now.
Was the first book that he read where the fantasy was a disabled heroine who wasn't a victim and drove the narrative with good writing and acknowledged her disability. Okay, so that book is on my TBR, and I didn't know that the main character was disabled. So, and I put it before I even heard about that. Like, I didn't know. I just thought it was going to be another Beauty and the Beast retelling. That's literally was the only reason I put it on my TBR. But yeah, see, Ted did that too. The fact that my disability is character, and I was like, this is different. The fact that we are still responding to characters that are like us as, wow, this is interesting. That's how you know it's not just a marketing ploy. It's just like,
it's not, and it's not the norm.
That. Let's see. Also, so that was the disability. Do we have more comments on this? If anybody knows any other books where the main character is disabled in some way,
yes,
it was written well, as in you've already read it, let us know. Because honestly, other than A Curse So Dark and Lonely, I cannot think of one. And I've been trying my hardest to broaden my Asian books, and I mean my Black books, obviously, but I've jumped into more Asian fantasies last year too. And then the whole magical realism, because apparently on Twitter, a person said that magical realism it's a form of appropriation when a white person writes magical realism, because magical realism was created to combat colonialism, which Cerebral countered with. There are many non-POC heritages whose stories fall under this category. So then we go to the next statement that says, oh, no, that's a different comment. But yeah, so
I don't in the chat.
I don't agree with that at all. That if magical realism was written to combat colonialism, that would be my first time hearing about that. So I guess I can't really comment because
I don't feel educated enough on magical realism to comment on that.
I mean, I enjoy magical realism, but I've never.
Wasn't it created by Latin Americans though?
That's what I thought the background was.
I think so.
Yeah.
I thought it was indigenous roots.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know enough. Like, I feel like I need to like write a note to like maybe we can add that as a topic for one of our future lives, because I don't feel like I know enough to actually have a real
where we have more background on it to speak on that.
That's okay. I have a notebook here that I write down anytime we touch a topic that could be a whole live in itself, and we're just going to put magical realism on that category.
Yeah.
Hold on. I am intrigued though now, because I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's where it even came from.
I didn't know either. I'll have to really look into it, do some research, and really think about that. Because if it's created as a form of resistance, that creates a whole different context.
Yeah, I feel like I'll be looking at a lot of books differently if that's really where it came from. Like, whoa. Let's see. So we are touching. Ted said I can think of a lot of do a rant video.
Oh no.
No, because that means I'd have to actually read all of them so I could rant appropriately, and that's too much.
Kudos to people that deliberately read bad books to rant about them, because
I can't.
Yeah, it's hard for me, really hard.
Yeah. Z-Love Books says it's a middle grade, or so wait. So there's a book called, I missed it. Let me scroll back up. So Out of My Mind by Sharon Draper. It is a middle grade book about a girl with CP who gets the chance to speak to her family. Wow. It's a middle grade book? All right.
Some of these middle grade books are really heavy.
It just touches topics that adults act like touching with a 5-foot pole is hard. Let me put the title of that book back up just in case anybody wants to copy that down. It's called Out of Mind by Sharon.
Ted is coming for everything. I'm crying.
Hold on, let me see.
That movie was so terrible.
I didn't really like the book either.
Which one is Everything?
That's the one with the flowers.
That's where she's allergic to going outside.
Allergic to literally life itself.
So I know that actually is a real rare condition, but to turn that into a love story makes me mad.
Wait.
I don't know why. It's not because I don't like
the worst part of it isn't even the worst part is the end. When like everything's resolved.
Yep.
It's just I don't want to spoil it.
I mean, I like Nicola Yoon.
It's just like really.
I agree with Troy and I agree with Brittany. Like, I agree with both of y'all. Like, I do not feel that to make it into a love story was the best plot that she could have had with that type of heavy subject matter. Like,
she also has a habit of doing that with very heavy subject matter, though.
I don't like it.
Because didn't she do that? Didn't she write? What is the name of that other book?
The one about deportation?
Yeah, the one about deportation.
Here's the thing.
The sun is also a star.
Here we go.
You can do that if the love story is part of a larger plot. But she doesn't know how to make the love story part of a large. She tries with like some side things going on. She'll try, but it's not executed very well. So it ends up just being about the love story, and it just feels trite. Like the whole book, I'm like, you're about to be deported. Like, like I'm like, there's more important.
No, you're about to get deported tomorrow.
Like, I just can't believe that she's just staring into his eyes when there's like this calamitous thing going on in her life.
But the trailer for the movie was even worse. He goes like, he's like, did you just call me Pad Thai? I am Korean, not Thai. And I was just like, what is going on in this movie?
I didn't see the book. Like real tears. Genuine tears. I was crying. I was like, why is this? Why? Wait, you were just crying because you did not do your application and you're being deported tomorrow. And you meet homeboy Slim here and you got time to go to karaoke and make out in the karaoke booth.
It doesn't make sense.
And don't get me started on how everybody in the movie are dark skinned.
Yes.
But Kitty was the daughter.
Yup.
Especially since in the book she makes it a point to let us all know that the homegirl is dark skinned with 4C hair. That's a whole other topic. That could be a whole rant live on itself. Like,
I've always wanted to do a live talking about the colorism in the book to movie adaptation world and also in the book cover world, because it's like the book cover will look one way and then the character will be described completely opposite, and I'm confused. I'm just like, hold on.
Don't worry. That's a topic that I already had on the list. Can't do them all at once because everybody will think we're just a bunch of angry Black women.
This is true.
We're probably already there, though.
I mean, I don't care.
I've heard of this book, Flowers for Algernon. Isn't it made into a film too?
Yeah, she said that it's going to be two movie adaptations.
Okay.
I'm just writing the list because I have to add them to my personal TBR.
Also, I would just like to say the makeup in your profile pic is amazing.
Oh yeah, I know that's gonna sound weird, but do you remember the lipstick color that you had on?
Yes, well, it looks so good. I keep staring at your makeup in that picture.
You brought it up. I was gonna ask you later. I just didn't want to like sound like I was just going straight into makeup. But it's like if you want to drop the name of that, we would all be very blessed. Because I saw that earlier and I was like, all right, like lashes.
Exactly, everything.
Yeah, colorism in adaptations and book covers is an entirely different, can be an entirely different live because
it angers me to no end.
I have 4 or 5 books on my shelf right now that received controversy for having dark-skinned women on the covers. So
it's time to go fix it in the movie adaptation.
The word fix. Just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, with the books that are coming out this year, there are a lot of POC non-Black trauma books coming out this year.
Yeah.
I will just be very interested to see the way that they're received in the Booktube community, because I do watch. Sometimes I watch, because I don't watch Booktube as much as I used to, just because I feel like everybody's reading the same books. But sometimes I watch just to see when they talk about certain books.
Hold on.
Because I see. Okay.
I'll be right back. You can keep going.
Okay. But yeah, I want to see how they respond to it, because there's a lot of sequels coming out that were POC. What is it? There's one Asian fantasy that finishes off this year, and I'm very sad because I've loved this series as well. I have to look it up on my phone because I always mess up the first.
Is it a romance?
You got it.
I'm just messing with you.
I know, because we all look. I don't bash romance, but I'm very critical of romance stories because I just want them. I want to believe that they happened, and a lot of the times when I read them, I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, this is not real.
I'm gonna. You can. You know what? I'm gonna tell you to read all those Bigfoot books that are romances.
Bigfoot
Wait,
books?
Troy, what?
Elaborate.
What? I can't think of what this is.
What?
Wait, before you jump into that, the book series I was talking about is The Shadow of the Fox. It's by Julie Kagawa.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. The audio book
everywhere.
The third book comes out in May or June this year. But yeah, highly recommend it. You'll love it. It's like a Japanese, Imperial Japan with slight Chinese adaptations in it. Love it. Like, love it. But yeah, please tell me about these Bigfoot romances.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Stop. No, wait. Lower your screen. I can't see the top.
Yeah. Take the brightness off your screen so I can see the whole. Wait, does this say come for Bigfoot? Like CUN?
Wait, Troy, put that back up. Put that back up. Put that. I don't believe it.
Oh, go back.
Hold on, I'm trying to make sure my mom's address isn't on here. Hold on.
What is happening?
I'm like, what's happening right now?
It does say that. Why? Oh, my sweet baby Jesus. Why? What type of?
There's like a series of them.
I gotta go download. I got to. I have to.
I'm afraid to look it up on my Amazon because I don't want it to give me suggested books that relate to that. Like,
this is a whole niche I didn't even know existed.
So apparently, Monster said there's a whole subgenre of monster romances. Oh my gosh! Wait. Okay. So this enlightens me.
Okay,
so
I
much.
knew about like the whole werewolves. Like there's like werewolves and like shifters.
Yeah, I knew about
And
that. But there's a whole section and it has its own name. This is great. Oh,
Yeah.
I love our chat. I learned so much with y'all.
Yeah. Hold on.
Let me go that way.
Can you see
What
it?
is that? Can't read the title. Captured by Bigfoot.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I don't read romance. Somebody read it for me and tell me how it is.
No.
Also, hi, Dr. Doom. That is the best time to enter the stream when we're talking about. Sorry. This is fantastic.
I'm really shook. I got to get off this.
Oh,
I don't mind monster romances, to be honest. They're not that bad.
I didn't know that monster romance was a thing. Like, I had no idea.
It is very like Beauty and the Beast-esque. Like it's that whole vibe.
So like anybody who's read them, so basically like what, they get captured by the beast and they end up falling in love with them? Or like
Wait, Dr. Doom put in the comments Best time to enter the stream.
I saw Dr. Blue's comment, like, oh my gosh, that is a weird time. You could have came in much sooner, and that transition would have made a lot more sense.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm so intrigued. It's like, wow. But that's fine. I mean, look, I don't bust anybody for reading romance. It's just I had no idea that there was an entire genre devoted to love with monsters. But then
there's a lot of
vampires, monsters.
I just would feel uncomfortable reading the sexier scenes and it's a monster. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I have to read a month of fantasy at some point. Yo, Monty Varick just dropped a gym title, and that just cracks me up for some reason. Please give us the synopsis of this book. Thank you. Monty, you are coming through. Are y'all ready for the synopsis of Space Raptor Butt Trilogy by Chuck Tinklum?
I cannot.
With his genre-defining work.
No!
Prove that even gay dinosaur erotica could be nominated for a Hugo. It got nominated for a Hugo Award?
There's a dinosaur involved? Why is there?
You know what? Get your bag, though. Get your bag.
Monty came through with a gem. This one got nominated for a Hugo. So if you're curious, check it out, because if if romance was my genre, I feel like this is where I would probably go, because it's more of a fantasy-esque type romance, right? This is freaking fantastic. I'm just
curious about the dinosaur.
So blessed to be here.
I need to know.
Oh, Brittany, you got to answer on the lipstick.
Oh, we did. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I busted out laughing. Okay. Oh, Cerebral said that it plays into the fantasy of something stronger than you overtaking you, is what I assume the appeal is.
I definitely agree with that, because I really like The Beauty and the Beast. That's probably my favorite retelling.
Oh, found it. Okay, so Novelist dropped a gem. For all of those wondering what her bomb makeup was in her profile picture, it is the liquid lipstick by Maybelline Super Stay in shades Huntress and Philosopher. And then the eyeshadow palette was the NYX Brights. Yeah, I had the NYX Brights. I gave it away because the pigment was a joke. Just go Juvia's Place. That's the best pigmented eyeshadow out there. Oh, and the lashes were from AliExpress. Come through AliExpress.
Wow.
I love AliExpress.
I
just spent an obscene amount of money on AliExpress yesterday.
Look, AliExpress is where you, like, if you feel like you too broke, go on AliExpress, because I got lashes, stationery.
That's where all my stationery stuff comes from.
Yeah. Also, I feel like at one point, we're gonna have to start deep diving into like random genres and trying to find POC or Black authors in each genre to like highlight. But if anybody reads that book, please hit us up. Let us know. Was it Hugo Award worthy? That's what I want to know. I don't even know the criteria for Hugo Awards. I just know when I see that a book was nominated or that a book has a Hugo, like it makes me feel like I should read them. Like, I don't know if that's... I don't know.
Validates it in your eye. You're like, okay.
Yeah, because you know, like you'll be chilling and then like you'll walk by the book and it's got that big old award smacked down right here. And you're kind of like, oh, maybe I should see what this book is about.
Any type of award always makes you feel like the book is some type of validation to it.
Yeah. I was just like, it's a couple of books that I've seen because I was like, I don't really know about it. Oh, wait, I might want to read it. It looks like it's got awards.
Okay, so let's talk about what is on y'all's TBR for January. I'm just curious. Oh, and I looked at my Goodreads and I've actually read 8 books so far this year.
Yes.
Oh, Chalet. Okay.
Books.
We're all romances though, and those are all a lot faster to read. But continue on.
Wait.
Yes. What is on?
Novelist asked, did he scam his way to the awards like the other author? What other author scammed their way into an award? I have no idea.
Wait, what?
Yo, these comments are tripping me out. Hold on.
That
Harley's recent comment is too
how
much
do
for
you
me.
scam your way into an award? Like, I thought that was impossible.
And tell us more details about that if you
Well,
have
for a book award anyway. That's weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ted, you're right. Pride by E.B. Zilboy is Pride and Prejudice. I personally loved it. A lot of people did not like Pride. It's literally just Pride and Prejudice with a hint of gentrification. Basically.
I find that whenever Pride and Prejudice is rewritten by a modern author, a lot of people don't like it. And I find that they don't like it because they end up not liking the characters, like who's supposed to be like the Elizabeth Bennet character.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's interesting that in the original work, we somehow find her more palatable because of the time that it was and how much misogyny was going on and how women were oppressed. But then when it's rewritten into modern times, she becomes unlikable. And I just think that's interesting.
You know why she's
I agree with that.
You know why she's unlikable. Like, we don't have to pretend that we know why she's not unlikable. Because she has the same kind of attitude and the same kind of she has the same kind of spunk that Elizabeth has, and she's very right. She's very, this is where I stand. She's very all of that, just like the main character in Pride.
Yep.
But and you know what? To agree more so with Brittany, there are a lot of books that are white-based that are redone. Like 10 Things I Hate About You is really popular. Clueless is really popular. Emma is still technically in the same era, but it's, a more recent version of it. They do tend to like newer versions of the old classics. So
when it has a different face, huh?
Wait, pause the conversation. So
what?
Apparently, Handbook of Mortals is the book.
I do remember hearing that.
Well, Insane Reader made a whole video about it.
Yeah,
it's on the New York bestseller list because they literally bought like thousands of copies of their own book. She bought exactly. What? Yeah, that was a huge scandal when it happened. I remember because Insane Reader did a whole video about it. Well, I don't know if he's calling his channel Insane Reader anymore, but
yeah, but I think he changed his name. I don't remember, but holy mess. I didn't even think you could really do well. You know what? People can do a lot. So
wait, who's read 27? Steph, you've already read 27 books this year?
Steph Romance has read 27. There's another one in here that says 55.
What? How?
Novelist says she read 55. I want to know how y'all are reading so fast, because ever since I made the declaration to like build my business, I have no time for fun reads. How are y'all getting these reads? And I'm reading 3 books right now, and I might finish one this week.
Oh my God, y'all read so fast. I'm like, we're 19 days into the year.
Simone is right. Steph really do be reading like 15 books a week.
Yes.
Because every time I see her on Instagram, it'd be like, another one.
Yes. I'm like, how?
Where are y'all reading these? It's okay. We're gonna get back together because
that's amazing.
I can't believe, like, y'all are flying. Okay, I feel better now. Novelist said 48 of them were comic book issues. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I feel a little better now. Like, I thought you were out here reading like I thought you were out here reading like this.
I thought she like cloned herself. There were like 3 of her sitting on her couch, each reading a different book.
Listen, if y'all can figure out a way to clone yourself, that would be great. I could have one clone handling social media, one clone doing business, and then me, I could go do the stuff I want to do, like play my Switch or read a book, because those are the only things I really want to do right now.
One clone to go to work. I don't need multiple clones. I just
go to work. Bet.
That's
all
it.
I need to literally do anything else if my clone made my paycheck. Or
I'd be out here living my best life.
Can I get 2 clones? One to do my regular job and the other one to go find a sugar daddy? That would be perfect. Pay my car, pay my house, and then I'll be like, you can go, clone. You can
Right?
go.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Oh man, that man. How do we get on clones? Okay.
Oh, he changed his name. I was trying to find his channel real quick. I was like,
Yeah, he changed his name.
Okay.
Joseph.
I'm kind of sad that they bullied him off Booktube. That is messed up. I know we talk about it all the time, but it's crazy to me.
People just need to embrace themselves. Like I fully embrace that I am loud. I fully embrace that sometimes I say things that are off the wall, and sometimes I say things that might be very offensive, but I'm not going to back down from any of the things that I say. Granted, if I realize that I offended somebody, I am a huge adult and can apologize. But I believe he got bullied off because he was younger. If he was just a little bit older and a little more confident in himself, he could have jumped back at them and they would have retreated. But
I just looked at his channel. He's still making book videos. He's still making book videos. Mm-hmm.
I want him to come back louder and stronger, if that makes sense.
He is still making book videos. At least his last couple ones from a couple months ago were book videos. So.
No, novelist. I am waiting for the wolf. Wait, the game, The Wolf Among Us 2? Is it The Wolf Among Us? Because I feel like is it The Wolf? I feel like that might not be the name. Oh, we were talking. What was his original name? Insane Reader was the one that was bullied off Booktube. He came back, but he has way smaller interactions now or engagement now.
He tried to change his channel. Like he tried to do like movie reviews, then he tried to do like spoofs for a little bit. And those did okay, but I don't think he was happy. And now he's back to me. Well, as of 2 months ago, he's making book videos again. But
yeah, I hope he stays this time because it was clear he liked doing books. So I need him to just it's okay to not be super popular if you do what you love because that's authentic. So, okay, I don't know what The Wolf Among Us 2 is, but I am gonna go look because I'm allowed to switch now because what started off as like a 20-minute break turned into like 4 hours of me just playing my game. So I'm not allowed to play, but The Wolf Among Us is a Telltale game series. And it is on all of my game devices. Okay. I'm gonna put this down because I'm not buying anything.
Don't.
Gonna be responsible. Man, y'all can't give me suggestions for things. I'm not allowed to buy stuff.
Well, maybe is it at the library? Maybe
it's a game.
Oh, it's a game.
Yeah. Ooh. Also, I forgot. So remember how we said last year that Elizabeth Acevedo was on our auto buy list? Well, after War Girls and then Tochi actually taking the time to watch our video and comment on our video and talk about
he is such a sweetheart, I swear.
So I auto buy his books now, and his Riot Baby book just came out. Ooh. And first of all, it is super short. Like, I don't know why I thought this was going to be longer. But when I picked it up off the shelf, I was like...
He doesn't write super long books, though.
Well, his books are normally at least... his books are normally at least this big. So
yeah, that's like normal.
This is his smallest book that I've read from him, because Crown of Thunder, Beast Made of Night, they were about the size of Black Girl Unlimited.
They were normal.
This one is only 173 pages. That is a really short book. And it's about Black kids dealing with superpowers.
Really?
Yeah,
I'll have to see if the library has it. I'm curious.
He's on my auto buy after I just feel some type of way that he took the time to comment. So he's an auto buy. However, his book sleeve fits perfectly in this book.
Can't.
Most of my books are here, so it's just okay.
I canceled over $300 worth of pre-orders, so I feel very proud of myself.
Hold on, how much money were your pre-orders?
My original amount was $400, and I was like, okay, that's crazy. So then I canceled some. Then it came down to like $300, and I was like, this is still bad. So I canceled most of them. So now it's down to $150. $150.
Woo! You know, wait, that's $150 for the entire
Woo
year.
child.
The whole year, y'all. That's the whole year.
Okay, so the entire year. Okay, all right, I can deal with that. I was about to say, sis, we need to talk after this because that is not.
I thought you meant like one time.
Yeah,
No, the whole year.
I was sitting here like $400. What books are? Some books better read to you. Jesus.
No, the ones that did the cut were the Elizabeth Acevedo one.
Yep.
Then the one with the really beautiful cover,
the gilded ones.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's on mine.
A Song Below Water, the other beautiful cover one.
The blue cover one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then N.K. Jemison's newest.
Yep, she's on my pre-order.
And then the last one is this book that I haven't seen anyone talk about it, but it really grabbed my attention. And it's called The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby Dare. Hold on, let me see the cover. Maybe y'all have heard of it.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, it caught my attention. So those are the only pre-orders I have left for the year, and it feels very painful.
I feel like that's a good place to stop yourself because at the end of the day, we have to remember that we fall into a genre of YouTube where consumerism says we must have large full bookshelves. And we don't actually need them because we're not even going back and rereading these books.
A lot of them, no, we're not.
Right. So remember, we're normal humans off of YouTube. We do not need, I'm keeping only the books that I love so much that if I'm not talking to y'all about these books all the time, they can't stay on my shelf.
That's kind of how I feel. Like I'm going to do like a declutter of my bookshelves and get rid of all the books that I have no interest in reading anymore or that I didn't like. And I really just want to read the books on my shelves and then keep the ones that I really love, and everything else can go.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I started doing already because I'm trying to look. So
I don't have any pre-orders.
Riot Baby was a pre-order. I picked her up today. I have Deathless Divide, I think is my next pre-order. That's Dread Nation 2.
I cried when I canceled that pre-order. Literal tears. My eyes.
I'm at 2. So then I have The City We Became,
okay.
The Night of the Dragon, which is The Shadow of the Fox 3. I'm sorry, that book has to be a pre-order. The cover is full-blown purple, and I know if I wait, they're going to change the covers on me. And
probably.
This is the cover of, hold on, screw my count. I have to show y'all this cover. It's freaking gorgeous. You should be able to see it better on screen now. That's the cover.
Oh,
and that's cute.
All of the white will more than likely be like a metallic color because all her covers have metallic on it.
Yeah.
I need it before they change their mind because every time they come with the stuff, they change it. So wait, that was 3 books. So then I have Clap When You Land, the Gilded Ones, and then wait, A Song Below Water. And see, those are I have 6. But then there's another book because, Bae J. Kristoff is coming out with the vampire book.
I heard about that.
They haven't announced the date. When they announce a date, that book is getting pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Just I'm
very curious to see how he's going to tackle the vampire thing.
And not to mention, according to his Goodreads, it's supposed to be an illustrated graphic novel kind of thing. So he's kind of hitting all of my happy places.
Yeah.
And I know the fact it's not going to be some Twilight. I'm so excited.
I know. What I hate is how people compare every vampire book to Twilight as if vampire novels didn't exist before Twilight. I'm like, y'all, come on.
It's also to consider most vampire books involve blood.
Yes, they're very gory. They're usually not these sparkly guys that eat deer. Deer.
Is anybody or novelist said that she pre-ordered The Shadows Between Us, and then she's waiting on the new Sarah J. Maas book.
Yes, girl, I have that pre-ordered. I did not cancel that one.
See, okay,
I love Sarah J. Maas. I don't care what nobody says.
I have a confession to make that I'm sure somebody is going to be like, oh my God, I've never read a Sarah J. Maas book.
Me either.
I'm still trying to get y'all to read a Sarah J. Maas book. I'm still trying real hard.
I can't. I don't know what I'm.
I'll read Sarah J. Maas when Brittany reads 30 romance books in a row.
Why 30? Wait
That's
a
a
minute.
lot. Troy,
Not to mess with her.
don't set her up for failure, girl. 30? How about 2?
First of all,
Just
I
joking.
was more than willing to trade off until you said 3, 0. Why do I have to
I'm just joking.
for you to read 1?
It was a joke.
Oh, my heart and soul. Like, oh my God. I'm debating on.
No, but OhSheReads, you want us to read like the Throne of Glass series, and like there's like 8 books in this.
ACOTR. What is this one?
It's easy. That's A Crown of Thorns and Roses. That's
A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Okay, look, I don't know. That's how Sarah J. Maas I know.
You have to start with Throne of Glass. It is a little trite in the beginning, but it does get good. It's easy reading and it sucks you in. I really would be curious to hear y'all's thoughts.
So wait, Throne of Glass is the first one we have to read, or Court of Thorns and Roses?
Throne of Glass. You have to read the Throne of Glass series first, and then read
Throne of Glass.
I might, because isn't that more advertised as like a YA fantasy kind of book?
Yes, it's more fantasy, although there are romantic elements to it.
I mean, most YA fantasies.
A Court of Thorns and Roses has way more romantic elements to the point where I feel like it would annoy you, Brittany. You'd be like, what's going on?
I mean, I will voluntarily read Sarah J. Maas before romance, and I already agreed to read romance for a month.
Wow. And I already said I wasn't picking anything.
I haven't picked what month it is because y'all haven't picked the books.
I'm not picking a book. I don't want that heat.
Like, Troy's afraid to pick the
I'm terrified.
And so I can't pick the month.
No, let me tell you something. You're not going to be in our group chat yelling at us for days on end. Like, it's just not happening.
But why y'all have me reading this? This is horrible. I'll be like...
Like, wait, OhSheReads, remember how mad she was that you and I DNF'd opposite of always?
She was
to be fair though, 1, it was a book club read. 2, I'm going on this temporary love stories like that, and I was the only one who read it.
Look,
hey, we said in the beginning that DNFing was okay.
How are we gonna have a book club conversation if we DNF?
You know,
you tell us what happened.
Exactly. Look, we all DNF something. We all DNF She Would Be King.
Yeah, I tried so hard to get to the end, but when they got to the actual war battle scene and she got stabbed, and
I read all of it.
Wait, no. Me and Troy finished She Would Be King. You DNF She Would Be King because we got to the end. We did.
Yeah.
Man, listen. She Would Be King put me in a 6-month slump.
She didn't do 2 of her picks.
Oh my God, she's right. You did. So this year we are not DNF.
That's why I don't pick anymore. That's why we changed the structure.
Because we would do the vote and your votes always won, and then we would read your vote and be like, what is this? You picked this.
Because you know what it was? I was picking books that were either critically acclaimed or overhyped. And She Would Be King had gotten a lot of critical acclaim. So I was like, okay. Same with some of the other books. They had been overhyped or people had talked them up a lot. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that I've changed about my reading, especially going into this year, is like not automatically going for the overhyped book or the critically acclaimed book because people are raving about it. Because half the time, I don't like them. Half the time, I don't like them. Half the time, I'm like, this is horrible. So
yeah, I really need somebody to explain to me. Because I actually did go, if you go on YouTube and you type in She Would Be King, you actually can get a pretty nice variety of people talking about it. And it was some of them I was watching, I was like, did we read the same book?
Some people really like it. And I mean, it just goes to show that reading tastes vary and people like different things. For me, I just felt like, you know what it was? The core of the story was interesting. The way it was written was not. That was my issue. My issue was actually the way the story unfolded. The story itself was very fascinating. The way it unfolded had me bored and or confused. or it felt like it dragged in a lot of scenes. I was like, was this scene really necessary? Did we have?
The story was posed as like 3 people in a war who actually get war in the last chapter.
Yes.
We were all sitting there like, so why does she have?
This is it.
What is going? Okay. I mean, to be clear, I much rather enjoyed My Sister the Serial Killer because
I love that. Looking back, I actually really enjoyed it. I had emotions. Because the thing is, the reading experience was really enjoyable. The characters were what drove me up the wall. But I think that the writer did a good job writing those characters because they clearly affected us to that level.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of books from last year, novelist said, I finished Black Leopard, Red Wolf. To be honest, I gave it 3 stars, but I want to reread it because I know I was too nice with my ratings. Took me a whole year to finish it. Listen,
I have no words.
I have to apologize for Black Leopard, Red Wolf because that was on my most anticipated reading list. I had been hyping that book up. I read the book and just became immediately traumatized. I've
attempted to read that book 5 times. It's not for me. I need to give it away.
It's like the way that Jay Kristoff reads, I was like, okay. And I have tried to go back and reread Black Leopard, Red Wolf because I was like, maybe the initial like whoa for me. I was like, now that I'm out of that, maybe I can go back and read it. And every time I started back, I'm like, whoo, this is like I've watched people's reviews on Black Leopard, Red Wolf, and I'm like, wow, that's actually a very interesting perspective. Maybe I need to think about it like that, and I won't feel like this book is so weird, but I cannot get myself to go back and read it. Like I've watched Cerebral. Did you do a video about Black Leopard, Red Wolf? I think it was. Yeah. Cerebral's perspective on it is totally different than ours. And I looked at him like, dang, like maybe I would have enjoyed the book more if I thought about it like this because
I feel like it has a lot to do with a perspective that I can't grasp for whatever reason.
It's really intense. It starts off intense and just keeps excelling intensity.
The stakes keep raising and I'm like out of breath. I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't.
That it's a lot of African references to things that I am unaware of. So I think I didn't get to enjoy the story that much because there's a lot of things I didn't understand. Because there were a lot of cultural, you can tell that there were some cultural stories that this story was based off on, and like they were putting it all together, and I don't know any of them. So I was literally just like, what is happening in this story?
Harley said she did a video on the author and part 1.
See, the author has other books, and the premise of his other books, I'm very intrigued to read. So I'm not giving up on the author. I just, that's a very, very good way to put it. It's very dark, sexually charged, and violent.
That's perfect. Perfectly described.
I guess, I'm one of those people. I was not aware of the level of intensity because it starts at 100 and jumps to like 4,000 by the end of the book. So I don't know. I guess because I've never read any of his books, I don't know if all of his books are like his writing. I don't know his writing style. This was my first encounter of his writing style. I am actually planning on reading more of his books because I do feel like writing wise, he kept the story captive. I was horrified when I was reading because of the stuff that was happening. But as far as like his writing style, it moves the story. So I was like, I'm gonna give him another chance. I donated that book already. It's gone. It's not in my house anymore. I'm not even gonna front.
I need to get rid of it. Straight up.
I tried. It's cool. We still gonna keep trying intense books. Also Cerebral, to be honest, you're not really missing anything with Girls of Paper and Fire. And I know.
I feel like I tried to read that book and failed. It's a fantasy.
It's a fantasy, and it's a really hyped fantasy because it's a lesbian, it's a female love interest.
Okay.
Thing. And as I said when I talked about this book, it's a very poorly written female love interest, and I just feel like it's one of those ones where I was like, okay, so this story is a dynamic story. These girls are experiencing trauma together. They could have totally just been besties. She didn't even know. She the main character was so naive and just so stupid. I can't even pretend like it's not even another word. She's so stupid and so naive that for her to go 0 to 100 on this girl who she knew nothing about, and it's supposed to be a highly acclaimed lesbian story, and it's but you go from not knowing yourself, not knowing yourself at all, barely knowing this girl, to being in love with her.
It seems like a stretch, huh?
Yeah, as I said before, I'm not against any type of relationship, but make it make sense.
Do you know what series never gets talked about, but I actually really enjoyed?
Which one? Also,
the trilogy. That last book's title reminded me of this one and how much I want to reread it because, like I said, no one ever talks about it. But it's the Girl of Fire and Thorns trilogy.
Girl of Fire and Storm?
The Girl of Fire and Thorns.
Which one is that?
Thorn. Okay.
By Ray Carson. It was kind of popular on Booktube for a hot minute, a couple years back. It's really good. It's one of those series where I read it because everybody was talking. Well, not everybody, but a good chunk of people were talking about it on Booktube, and it was a fantasy, and I was intrigued. And then I really liked it. I really got sucked into it. And I was like, it was just very interesting the way that it talks about religion in this fantasy world. And the main character deals with eating food as a coping mechanism, which I've never seen done in this particular way. It's just very fascinating. I really liked it.
It actually sounds interesting. I'm intrigued.
It's very interesting. I was reading it
what is the name?
The Girl of Fire and Thorns. That's the first book. I don't know what the actual name of the series is.
You know the author?
Ray Carson, R-A-E Carson. And the first book, if anyone has Kindle Unlimited, the first book is on Kindle Unlimited for right now.
Oh, okay.
I've got to change my display picture. My nose looks huge. Sorry.
I like your big nose in that picture.
I was I got to contour that down, honey. Shoot.
I like it.
Let's see.
Another book that I actually also really thought was interesting is a series. And it's kind of like an apocalypse. No, it's literally apocalyptic because it's about the apocalypse. And it's about the 4 horsemen. I don't know. It's a romance. And it's about the 4 horsemen. And each horseman comes to Earth and the plagues that come with him, blah, blah, blah. So obviously it's the end of the world. And the first book is called Pestilence. And obviously that's the horseman that comes is Pestilence. And it's very interesting because it's actually believable. I know it's a romance at the end of the world, and somehow this girl falls in love with one of the harbingers of the end of the world, one of the horsemen.
Trying to get in where she fit in to save her life.
But exactly. It's not all roses and sunshine. Horrific things are happening. And I remember when I was reading the book, I had so many questions. I read the first book was it last year? It may have been the year before last year. But I remember reading the book and it left me with so many questions and it wasn't a comfortable reading experience. And I was just kind of huh. So the second book came out a little while ago and it's called This is the Second Horseman, War. So that's an interesting book if anyone's looking for a book recommendation.
Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry. That's one I don't know how to explain. That one actually intrigues me enough to might add that to the romance.
It's a little bit off the beaten path. It's
that's kind of my style. If I got to read something that I'm not comfortable reading, it can't be the oh my God, this book is so great. I need to read something where it's got a different element to it.
But that's the author in general. She writes kind of, I wouldn't say it's dark, but it's not the norm, the type of book that she writes, but it's interesting. So yeah, that's a good recommendation for people who are looking for something a little bit different to read, I would say.
Monty says the Wayward Children series by C.D. McGuire is a great one that doesn't get as much love as it should. I do agree with that. Well, I've seen some booktubers talk about it, but I guess after like the first 2 books, people stopped talking about it. I personally love seeing that Wayward Children series. I actually really love it. It's such a weird. It's almost like the idea of, you know how with Narnia, like the door to Narnia was revealed to the children. So in the Wayward Children series, children go through these doors, and each door is to a different world, and all the worlds are different. So there's like one world where like the town is governed by a vampire, one world where everything's made out of candy. Like there's all these different type of worlds. So like each book focuses on a different storyline. So the first book actually starts off with one character going to basically like a Miss Peregrine's kind of school, where it's like, oh, these are for kids who have gone through doors. And at the school, it's basically like them trying to cope with coming back into the real world. And then the second book actually focuses on 2 sisters who end up going to the world that's ran by the vampires. It's really good. I highly recommend the audiobooks of them. They're super short reads. But if you've never read them, I highly recommend it. You could go in order of the way that they came out, or other people say you should read them in other orders. I don't really care. I've enjoyed them all. I think reading them in the order that they came out is perfectly fine. But yeah, I do really like the Wayward Children series. The next book actually just came out. I think it's the last book of the series too. So I'm on the 4th book right now. I haven't read it yet, but it's definitely that's a better way of putting it. They go to the school to get rehabilitated.
Okay.
They do, because they come back to the real world, and like they don't come back to the real world like next week. Like they come back to the real world like years later.
Yeah.
It's basically like watching a TV series. It's really interesting. I can't think of a better way to explain it. It's literally like on the next episode of Wayward Children. Like,
yeah. That's kind of interesting. I'm trying to
super short reads. I think the audiobooks are only like 4 or 7 hours. I think the longest one was 7 hours.
Yeah.
It's decent. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I could find it on my library.
Novelist said 2 books I still haven't read. Oh wait, no. Monty said, I'm sorry, I skipped. He said the books are kind of like what happens with Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland, and Narnia. Yeah, just a much darker way, and much worse. Novelist says 2 books I still haven't read is Ninth House by Leah Bardugo and Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I think that's
he did The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh, okay. I actually really like that book, honestly. So I've actually never read a Leah Bardugo book.
Me either, but I hear Ninth House is really good.
Yeah, I heard Ninth House was really good. And it wasn't just by the people who got the books for free. So
OhSheReads' computer died. She said she'll be back.
I know. We heard the little beep noise. She'll be back. But Simone said that Ninth House was not good. Would you care to
really?
More on
yeah, because I've heard so many good things about it.
I haven't heard anything bad about Ninth House yet. So if you felt like Ninth House was good, we would love to know. Because, I mean, it's on my list still. I've never heard of Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I think I'm saying his name right.
It's very recent because he hadn't done anything in a long time, and he just recently did that one.
Okay. Yeah, I want to know thoughts on Ninth House. I'm sorry I'm yawning, guys, because I whenever the sun goes down, my body thinks it's time to go to bed, and it's
time to go to sleep.
Yeah. My Name is Marina's has a whole review video, and she's a really good. Yeah, she is. Also, she's hilarious to me because every time I see her stuff, I'm like, hey, Rachel, what's up? Also, Rachel has a YouTube channel too. BT Dubs.
Yay. Really? There was Twitter drama about
I missed it. Okay, so another thing we have to point out is that
at Twitter.
So apparently we're on Ninth House, and we thought that it was getting all rave reviews, but apparently it is not. There was a whole Twitter drama about the Ninth House.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody give us, we need more information, guys. We missed this. I have to remind myself to get on Twitter. I'm not even gonna lie. So if we miss
Ninth House Drama on Twitter.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, I have another book recommendation.
Okay.
It's called
for this. Oh, Rachel DNF Ninth House.
Oh, well, tell us something.
Y'all gotta, here we go. Here we go.
Comfortable. Wait a minute. Yeah, y'all, for all the people who got these Ninth House, we need more information, guys.
Yes.
We've never read it.
Because I pre-ordered that book.
Oh no.
It's on my TBR.
Yeah, it's on my TBR. I plan on reading it at least in the first quarter. What?
Yeah.
Ooh, I need information, guys. Type away. We'll wait.
We sure will.
That's the third person on here that was like, no, Ninth House is not. Okay, so Monty's really been coming through. So there was a bit of drama about the depiction of rape and sexual assault. Some issues with Alex basically being a mystical minority because she has innate magic where all the white people use talismans.
Yikes.
Lordy, that's a lot.
Yikes.
Ninth House will definitely work for some people. My main problem was with a subplot involving the character Mercy. It's a spoiler, but it dealt with sexual assaults. Rachel said she had to get her computer, so she's clearly about to type a book.
Oh no, y'all. Something's definitely wrong with this book.
Oh no.
I'm shook.
I had no idea. There's a scene where a character is forced to eat feces. Oh, and Simone, we don't care about spoilers on this. If anybody doesn't want spoilers, just close your eyes while we talk about it. Because
yeah, seriously. I'm gonna read the book regardless because it's on my shelf and I'm curious to see what my own thoughts are on it. But
yeah, I mean, this is actually making me want to just get it from the library as opposed to buying it. But I'm still want to read it.
I bought it because I really like Leigh Bardugo, but now I'm like, sis.
I've never read her book. Some people are accusing the author of exploiting her rape story in the book with the main character.
Y'all, this is too much for me. What is happening?
Oh, man.
I'm out.
Like,
I'm so confused.
I'm out.
I'm gonna see y'all later. Bye.
I can't.
Like,
I mean,
now.
I think I won't be as shocked by it, but oh man, that's kind of crazy. Like, I'm not even lying. I'm waiting for Rachel. She said she had to get her computer. Like, I just want to know what's about to happen.
Yeah, Harley, I thought it was just like a dark book about like having to do with Ivy Leaguers, like a dark kind of
fraternity type of thing.
Yeah, like a I can't think of the word.
Isn't it called Dark Academia?
Yes, that's the word I was trying to think of.
Teresa said it's based off of the. Hold on, I gotta find the comment. I might have just deleted the comment on accident. Wait. Oh yeah, it's based off the Skull Society of Harvard.
Yes, like what was it you said, Troy?
Dark Academia.
Academia. There we go. I couldn't think of the word for a second. That's what I thought it was, and that's what intrigued me about it.
And that's definitely a genre that I like. So
me too.
I'll still probably read the book, but
wait. Could you put Monty's comment up?
Yeah. Some people have also criticized the writing as being a bit meandering, but the depiction of sexual assault has been people's biggest complaints. Okay, so here's my question. So you guys said that it was her exploiting her own sexual assault story.
Which Harley brings up a good point. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, my question is it because she's already used her sexual assault story in a story and you guys felt like it was too much? Or did you feel like she just keeps using her story? Like, I need more information. Simone says that Ninth House was slow and only really loved the character Darlington. essentially the character Mercy is her Asian Yale roommate, and she gets date raped by a magical drug as a plot point.
No words.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I have nothing on that. Rachel's back.
Here we go. She's about to tell us the tea.
Rachel says, let me just say that this was my first Bardugo book, so I don't have any reference for her work. Marie, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go check out Marina's review because 2 people have mentioned that she's gone all in about all the things that are problematic. She didn't. You didn't even make it that far into the book to get to the problematic scenes.
Yikes.
So what? Ooh, I mean, I've never read Leah Bardugo, and I thought that this would be a book that would make me want to read her.
Yeah.
But maybe I need to start with something else because I don't know. Novelist says, I do see some author insertion with the story since both MCs went to Yale. Both are considered minorities. MC is half Jewish and the author is fully Jewish. Both had been drug abusers and raped. Simone says, Mercy blames Alex for not being at the party. Alex responds by doing the previously mentioned feces eating.
This is interesting. I'm getting more and more intrigued. I'm gonna have to watch Marina's review because now I'm very, very intrigued.
I'm definitely watching that when I go to work. I love watching book reviews at work.
That's funny.
It's like my job sucks. Let me listen to a book review.
Interesting. I mean, Leigh Bardugo, to me, I really like her writing style. I've hated her previous books. She wrote the whole what was that series that she wrote, Shadow and Bone? I hate those. Was it Shadow and Bone? Isn't that what it's called? I hate those books with a passion. I tried to read them. I was unsuccessful.
Shadow and Bone was Lainey. Wait, hold on.
Oh no, is that Lanny Taylor? Which one's Leigh Bardugo? I'm mixing them up.
I'm typing in Leah Bardugo just because I don't remember. 6 of Crows. Oh wait, no, she did do Shadow and Bone.
That's what I thought. I was like, hold on.
Shadow and Bone and then 6 of Crows.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that series. I know they have like a huge following on YouTube, which is why I don't really talk about how much I didn't like them. But anyways, but I like her writing style, and I like how her characterizations and how she characterizes the characters. But yeah, so I was intrigued because she said it was going to be a darker story, but ooh.
Right. So Monte is clarifying the question that we asked about, like, how do they feel like he's exploring her own rape story? He said, I'm sorry, Monte, I did not mean to assume. Monte says, people have insinuated that she mentions rape too much to the point of it coming across as exploitive rather than cathartic. But I feel like that is up to the interpretation of the individuals. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I don't know if we can tell a person that the way that they're processing their trauma is too much. I will never tell somebody that they're doing if that's how they feel like they need to process it. I can't say that that's right or wrong. Hold on, we're back to Rachel. So Rachel's last comment was, her last statement was, I didn't make it that far to see all of it. And it says, see all of the issues. Main problem that I had was that the magic system was very corny. There are all of these drugs that they take and rituals, but the way to deter the ghosts was to say words about death. Like looking.
I'm very curious.
I find it a bit hard to really say much about it because I've never read it, so I don't have my own opinion about it, even if I watch the review.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch the review, and I'm probably still gonna read the book because now that I know that there's so much going on around it, I want to see like what part of it do I agree with, what parts do I not agree with. So now I feel like I have to read it. Oh, okay, yeah. Trigger warnings is another topic for another day because that is a very tricky topic. Okay, so the Geisha trilogy and 6 of Crows, that's her 2 books.
I haven't read 6 of Crows or that one. I only read Shadow and Bone. I didn't even read the whole.
I'm debating if I want to read Six of Crows because it's so hyped all the time.
I literally read Shadow and Bone and I was like, this is what everybody's been hyping up. This is it. This is it.
I've just been like the storyline that was presented had me interested in this book. Whereas Six of Crows, I'm only interested in read it because of Booktube hype.
Yeah,
so,
people freaking worship this book on Booktube. It's kind of scary.
Yeah. So, okay. So, I'm going to read the book. I don't know when, but 2020 is the year I'm going to read The Ninth House. When I do read it, obviously y'all will know. Because
same.
I don't know how to. It's like I'm reading all of this. And I'm like, wow, like this was not what I was expecting.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Like I knew it was like, again, anything about a dark society. I'm like,
Yeah, that's like right up my alley. I love stuff like that. So I'm just.
Yeah, I like dark stuff. So we'll see.
We shall see. Now, I will say, as a person that has not experienced sexual assault or anything, whenever I do read books that talk about sexual assault, like I'm always left with this uncomfortable feeling where I'm like, is this too much? Is this not enough? Like, is this doing like not even? I think doing the phrase "doing it justice" is a terrible phrase for this particular sense.
Yeah,
but I can't think of the right way to word it. So it's like now that I know that that's in there, I'm probably gonna like speed read that part because I kind of don't want to focus too much on it. I don't know. We shall see. This is gonna be interesting.
very.
And then if I get through this Leo Bardugo, I might hit Six of Crows. But honestly, the only reason that I think about Six of Crows any point in time is because of Booktube. I've never considered reading Six of Crows before I started talking about books on YouTube.
I agree. I'm gonna force myself to finish the Grisha trilogy so I can get to Six of Crows, because aren't they loosely related in some way or tied or something?
Are they? Because I've had no desire to read The Shadow and Bones.
Because I might just speed right on past, because I honestly was so bored and underwhelmed. I couldn't believe that was the book that people in the series that people have been hyping up for so long. I was very let down.
Man, everybody is saying Six of Crows is better than the Grisha trilogy. So
okay, I might just skip out on the rest of the Grisha.
Can we just skip the Grisha trilogy then? Can we just go right into Six of Crows? Because that would be great. Because I don't want to read Shadow and Bones.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah. Interesting point. This might be our last point of the night because we're like 15 minutes away from 2 hours. The Cerebral says, I think it's strange how much rape is in books these days, but as a victim of it several times in my life, reading it doesn't really bother me because it's never like intense enough for me to win. That's an interesting point. And you're right. A lot of books lately have been very like.
I feel like it's put in for shock value sometimes. I feel terrible saying that, but that's how I feel. Like I'm just like, is this really serving the story, or is this more like shock value? Like, I don't know. I don't like now. I don't mind diversity for diversity's sake, but I don't like trauma for trauma's sake. I hate that.
Yeah, to me, it's like when there is trauma in the story, is this trauma a major part of the storyline? Does this move the story? Like, what type of development is supposed to come from this event to the character? What is this, like, does this change the character in a way that it moves the story? Or are we just throwing this in here so I could be like, oh my God?
Yes. A lot of times, that's what I mean. A lot of times, I don't mean to sound insensitive, but a lot of times it just feels like thrown in to the plot, and you're just like, hold on, what?
Because, I mean, I didn't like Girls of Paper and Fire, but I will say that the sexual assault in the story made sense to the story. So it's like, they were paper girls. They were concubines that were forced to sleep with kings.
Yeah.
That made sense. So, I don't know. I'm trying to recall a book where I felt confused by the sexual assault. I honestly try to avoid it.
I don't like, you know how people like to have like a trigger warning about stuff like that? I'm conflicted because I feel like at times if I do have a trigger warning about something like that, it makes me avoid a book entirely.
Well, for me, whenever there's a trigger warning in the book, when I read the trigger warning, I read the book anticipating the trigger.
Yes. Like
so it's very hard. I understand why some people might need a trigger warning, but for me, I'm literally reading the book like, is it gonna happen now? Nope. Is it gonna happen? Nope.
It's a very touchy subject.
Yeah, it's hard because I don't know. Everybody is so different and everybody is reading the same thing. So you gotta figure out the way to make it work for everyone.
Yeah.
And that seems like a tricky topic all in itself because I don't know, maybe there should just be a page in the front of the book that you can just skip. As like trigger warnings. Like, you know how like there's like the publisher page and stuff in the beginning of the book? Like maybe right before that there should be like a trigger warning page, and if you want to look at it, you can.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, you don't have to, because otherwise the trigger warnings are like right here or something like that. So it's like, I personally don't like trigger warnings, but I understand why someone would feel like they need a trigger warning.
I know in the romance genre, I really hate when sexual assault is used as a way to prop up the male protagonist in some heroic fashion. Like, to me, it's so trite and just lazy. It's like lazy writing. Like, you know, like for example, like in a new adult book, they always have, not always and not all of them, but it happens a lot. Well, they'll have a scene where they're at a college party and the girl will be like there and she'll either get roofied and not know, or she'll just get really drunk because she's dealing with some other devastating event or trauma. So she's going to get drunk because she doesn't want to remember. And then she's going to get separated from her friends. And then she's going to meet some dude. He's going to lure her upstairs. But it's okay, because right before it can happen, the main hero of the story is going to burst in and save her. Like, that's what I don't like, how it's used like that. And it's done a lot in romance. Brittany, you look so, you're like.
It's actually a very common thing, especially in college romance.
It's extremely common, and I hate it, and I really want authors to stop doing that. Like, I really do.
Because it doesn't really it's just like, it ends up being like a plot point within the story. It's like the whole story is dedicated to this assault, and you're just like, okay, this kind of just makes me uncomfortable.
I think it's lazy, and I think that it implies that women are not responsible. Like, I'm not saying that these things don't happen, but the chain of events, like all of a sudden, like let's say something traumatic would have happened to the female character prior to her going to this party and drinking herself into oblivion. Then she's separated by her friends and she just continues to drink, and she's accepting drinks from strangers. I don't know a lot of girls who do this, even when I was in college.
With my girls, whenever we went out, we go together, we leave together, we go to the bar together. Like, there was none of that, oh, he bought me a drink. No, let's go to the bar, and the bartender will make a drink, and I will accept that drink. It's been times where I would go out and literally take my friend's drink and be like,
yeah,
all right, like, but that's where I talk about how like friendships, platonic relationships, and stories are losing their power, because if there was a strong platonic relationship in that story, then that plot point would make sense.
I agree with what Harley said. They said, I think a more realistic story about rape is that it be someone, okay, keep it right here, closer to the MC rather than always some guy who is obviously the villain, because then it feels cheap to have it there.
Yes, that's exactly the right word, cheap. It feels cheap. It feels lazy, like lazy writing. And I'm like, okay, so you couldn't find another way to make the male protagonist stand out as a good person or a hero. You had to have it in this manner.
Yeah, it feels like everybody is agreeing with that, because even Monty said it's because you're more likely to be assaulted by someone you know.
Mm-hmm.
That is a way more factual, a very unfortunate fact.
It is.
So I don't know. I don't read romance, and I agree with all of y'all on this topic. It's like, I feel like maybe we gotta, trauma sells.
Yeah.
Trauma sells so well. And the savior complex also sells really well.
It does.
So it's like, it's kind of the consumer's fault as well. Like,
It is.
This is happening in the story. We got to stop supporting these stories.
Yes.
We've got to force them to do something else, because I had no idea that the Ninth House was anything like this.
Yeah,
it was just a dark book, but I did not realize that this was what the storyline was coming with.
I mean, I knew it was, like you said, it was dark. Like, people had talked about it on Twitter, and she had kind of warned people, like, this is a lot darker than anything else you've seen from me, and people were kind of giving her shit because of it a little bit. But I did not know it was all this.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, again, you told me it was a dark book. I'm like, bet. I love dark stuff. You told me it was dark academia. Bet. Let's deep dive into that. And then you tell me it's rape. Wait, what? Feces? What?
Oh, goodness.
I don't know. I think that is the end of our chat.
It ends on such a dark note. We need to.
No, that's what I was about to say. I was like, but I don't want to end it, because like, I need to tell you guys some good things, because Lord knows we are not ending it on dark academia rape. So, my calendar. Mark your calendars for February 16th. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we're coming back. The topic for February is Black Men Read Too.
Yes.
So excited. But we're having 2 special guests.
Yes.
Justin from Ghost Reader, and we are having from Luxurious Blue coming on the show, and we're going to talk about it. It's one of those topics that I don't see a lot of people talking about, and we're super excited. This is going to be our first like guest spot type of thing on the book club, and we've been wanting to do guest spots for the whole year. So you guys get to meet 2 good Black men booktubers, and we get to have a very interesting conversation from the perspective of men.
Yeah,
our perspective is totally different sometimes than theirs. So I pretty much can't wait for this. Like, I'm more excited about our February live than our book live, which again, the book of this quarter is Black Girl Unlimited by Echo Brown. It is out. It is available. Check your libraries. Is it an audiobook?
I'll give a brief synopsis for those that didn't know that this was our book or are unaware of the plot. It is autobiographical, well, heavily autobiographical, because it's written by Echo Brown and it's also about Echo Brown. But it's essentially about a young girl who has elements of magical realism in the story, and it's about a young girl who has powers. And she lives, I want to say she lives on the east side, and it's very impoverished there. So basically, like, sort of like the hood, the ghetto type of narrative. And her parents struggle with addiction and things like that. And then she ends up getting into a school on the west side, which is like a very privileged side. And so she's kind of split between 2 worlds. And in her new school, she meets a teacher that kind of takes her under their wing and becomes her mentor. But there's elements of magic all throughout the story, and it's basically a coming of age story. So I'm really excited, because essentially it's Echo Brown's life story, but in with magic in like a fictional world. So that's kind of a cool way to tell your autobiography. Like, that's kind of cool. That's dope. So
3 things. 1, audiobook is on the Cloud Library, which means the audiobook is available in libraries. 2, Blackathon was just announced. So for anybody who wants to participate in Blackathon, who's leading Blackathon this year? Is it Books and Bow Ties?
Jesse and Marines, I think. No, not Marines. It's Jesse and I can't remember the other host, because one of the hosts dropped out.
Yes, but I can't remember.
Lauren? Jesse and Lauren?
We're going to put it on the, we're definitely going to put that on the Instagram for Blackathon, because I'm participating in I'm going to try to participate in Blackathon. Novel Lush. There we go. That's Lauren.
Yeah.
So from Novel Lush. So they're doing the Blackathon again. Also, Novelist thought I said that, don't she? Instead of Black Men Read Too. She thought that I said that.
Stop.
But yeah, so then
Thank you. Yes, it was Francina Simone that dropped out, not Marina. She wasn't a part of it, I don't think.
Right. So as of right now, until we make another announcement, the times for our lives are 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that won't change unless we tell you it changes. Because right now that works. Every third Sunday of the month at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be here. Well, for the first quarter, it will all happen on my channel. I will try to post a week before the live. I will try to post so you can set your notifications and come back and join us for the next one.
Yeah.
Anybody have any more questions? Again, Black Girl Unlimited, we'll be reviewing that in March. But we're trying to give ourselves a quarter to read the book so we can get more into it, take notes, live life.
In April, we'll be doing a new quarter. So we will give you plenty of time to get that book and announce it in enough time. And then we are also doing the Throwback-a-thon again this year. So we will make sure to announce that in plenty of time.
So excited.
I know, so many things. So many things.
Thank you so much, guys. This is great. Okay. Well, I think that's it. I don't think anybody has any more questions. If you do have questions, obviously leave them in the comments and we'll just come back and answer your question later on. Again, I will reiterate
Eastern Standard Time.
The book live 6 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. So for you Houstonians like Cerebral, that is 5 p.m. for you. For us Central Timers, that's 5 p.m. I will go as far as to posting every time zone. Keep playing with me, guys. It's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time
on the third
Sunday. Hold on.
Yes, write it in the chat.
Write it down in your books. Put it in your planners. Because this is the time that we're trying to keep. And we were on time today. I'm very proud of us, guys.
I know. Starting off to do it right. I'm excited.
We're doing it great. Thank you guys for joining us. As usual, the chat was great. Can't wait for next month with our special guest. So we're going to end it now. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
We're done.